Welcome to the Patient Heart Podcast. I'm Krista.
And I'm Leon, and we are here to share the stories of the patient heart.
From raising children to entrepreneurship to spirituality and even our relationship, our intention for this podcast is to come together and express our creativity.
The patient heart brought us back together, and we are so grateful to share this journey with you. Let's dive in.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, and welcome back. I hope everyone's doing well.
We are so excited to be here again, where this is our second recording in, I don't know, a couple days.
Couple days, yeah.
We just went so long that I feel like these are super exciting now whenever we do them.
Yes, and I started drinking wine.
I was gonna just literally say,
Yeah.
am I allowed to tell people you're drinking wine out of a mason jar right now?
Yeah, of course. Classy as fuck.
This is what happens when you move to the country.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting. You never really drank wine ever before.
No, but your mom kind of got me into it because she likes wine, and I figured I'd try a bottle once I got her a bottle, and I was like, try this. And I went with white because it's light. Red seems very
it's heavy.
Like molasses.
And I feel like
and I don't like molasses.
I feel like also red wine
Gets you drunk.
It's sloppy, it could go really bad.
Really?
I don't know. I haven't drank red wine.
I feel like red wine's for
well, I mean,
super fancy people.
Okay, since
caviar.
we're not fancy, that's why it could get us really fucked up.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean?
Chug that shit.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, okay, I'm okay with this taste, glug, 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 and then all of a sudden you're hammered.
Mm-hmm.
On red wine, your teeth are red, your tongue is red.
I heard that red wine makes you
nasty
so hungover.
I really don't even remember drinking red wine in my life. I remember putting it in the fridge once because I didn't like it warm, which is not allowed in the wine world. But I just wasn't a big wine drinker.
You're not allowed to drink it warm?
Cold. Red wine's meant to be warm, and white wine's meant to be cold.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. It's a warm drink? Not warm, not heated.
I'll drink a warm beer if it's out. Don't ever waste the beer. Don't ever waste the beer.
You don't ever waste anything.
Mm-hmm.
AKA, there's literally a half a sip left, and I'm like, are you done with this? You're like, no.
Put it in the fridge. Put it in the fridge. I'll get it later.
I'm gonna post a photo on wherever someone can see it of all the fucking half-inch remaining drinks in our fridge.
Yeah, this has been going on for 3 years.
Almost 4.
Almost 4. September 29th is 4 years since we started talking again.
Well, since we saw each other.
Since you saw each other in Marathon.
In Marathon.
That was an awesome town.
Yeah. We really like it there, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's beautiful. The lake is amazing.
Well, it's Lake Superior.
Yeah. Skips rocks. Lots of rocks.
Oh, man, we go there and we don't even talk when we're there.
Leon just skips rocks. By Leon, I mean myself. Did I just talk to myself in the third person?
He's had 2 sips of wine.
Leon drinks
loaded.
Leon drinks wine now, and Leon skips rocks when rocks need to be skipped.
It's really hard to skip Pebble Beach rocks because they're all really round.
But they're also smooth.
They are really smooth.
Yeah. All you need is one flat side. Just one flat, smooth side, and you can skip that sucker like nobody's business.
Yeah, I know. Except the white caps are insane out there.
Oh, but it makes it cool if you could skip it right through there. It's just you just cut the sea with a rock.
So anyways.
Epic things in my head. Leon always does things 1,000.
3 minutes in, and we haven't even talked one thing about what we're doing tonight.
Okay, so anyways, today's topic, we wanted to kind of talk about our job history and leaving jobs that were really, really, at the end of the day, pretty good high-end jobs.
Yeah, but they had lots of potential.
Yeah. But we wanted to go more, what was our purpose, and we're still doing that, because I know we both know that it takes time to build anything. And anything worth building takes time. Yeah. And that's beautiful. And,
Yeah, so we just kind of want to walk you through, what we've gone through individually, work-wise, and kind of where we're going or what we're planning. And hopes just to maybe inspire people to see the bigger picture.
Take a leap of faith.
Yeah, take a leap of faith, see a bigger picture, and just follow your heart. Because I feel like that's the thing. Once I stopped thinking so much, which I do a lot still, but in my career and within relationships, like you and I, I remember my mom.
I don't think at all, so you should just fly by the seat of your pants, baby.
I'll think for the both of us.
Yeah.
I remember when I was going to Marathon to meet you, my mom was like, "What are you doing?" Like, no, wasn't about you. It was just like, you had just come out of like a long-term I had just come out of a long-term relationship. Like, why are you going to see this guy from college?
Because I'm handsome as fuck.
Well, there's that. But also, like, that was me genuinely following my heart. It wasn't me being like, well, how are we going to make this work? We're long distance. And I'm sure I had those conversations and had those thoughts, but it was definitely a leap of faith with my heart.
Yes.
And so I feel like I started taking leaps of faith, well, a little bit before that, and then continuing after that, especially with work stuff. So.
And it feels good when it works out.
It does. And it even feels okay when it doesn't, because you kind of know.
It gives you that confidence to do it again and just be like, well, that was exciting in the process.
That was a lesson.
And, yeah. Also,
I learned something from that.
It was like an amazing feeling. Like, it kind of got you excited and like kind of like reignites your heart.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And like when you have trust in your intuition or your gut or your heart or whatever people want to call it, it's like that can really open you up to trust much more, you know? So yeah, I'll start if you want to just keep glugging that wine. Tasty. And listen to my job history.
Yeah, Leon will listen and Leon will chug this wine.
Seriously. Yeah, so I've done many jobs in my life. Leon and I, we told you guys this in the first episode, that we met in college, taking fashion marketing and management together. Well, not in the same class, but... And I did really well.
I did okay when I tried.
When he showed up.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I loved fashion, and I really wanted a career in the fashion industry for my whole life. I did. And then I tried, but you can't really do much in small town / small city, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah, spread your wings, and you did.
I did. I moved out to Regina, and I still didn't really go down like a really intense... I mean, what's in Regina fashion-wise other than retail? So that's all I did. But then I thought it would be important at age like 22 or so, 22, 23, to get a job, like a proper job. Not, retail hours, benefits, like there was pension, like... Anyway, so I got this adult job. It was like 8 to 4 or whatever. In the finance world. So I was a marketing associate, I was called. And I basically did paperwork for financial advisors. So I would do, like, say you're going to get a life insurance policy and you need all this paperwork prepped. I would do all the prep work and then make sure the advisor was set up properly to have like a successful meeting, book clients, that sort of stuff. It's a glorified admin position, really, just with a fancy name. I didn't do any marketing of any sort. And I swear to God, I got that job by a fluke, because when you upload your resume to LinkedIn, which would have been, this was like years ago, I uploaded it to LinkedIn and it said that I went to school for marketing. But I had wrote down, like, our program switched to be called marketing, but it wasn't when I originally had written it. It was called
fashion
merchandising.
Yeah.
So I don't know how, and I did not lie. I would not do that just because I don't want to have to lie in front of people's faces. But it just switched that it said like I had a business, like a college diploma in marketing. So I got this marketing position anyways that didn't have any marketing at all. But I worked... I think like 3 years there, moved a little bit within the company, but I was so hell-bent on just being like a 9-to-5er. Like, it was so important for me to have a salary and to have vacation, which was amazing, and benefits. Like, I used to get massage all the time. We even had a wellness benefit, which you get $500 a year towards yoga, gym memberships, whatever. So there was definitely some perks, but it wasn't a super fast-paced environment, so there's a lot of downtime, which is boring. Which that's how I really started my own business, in the downtime. But yeah, so I worked there for I think 3 years in the finance world, and then I just couldn't do it anymore. It was increasingly getting toxic though. Like, there were some really toxic situations at that place that like made me believe or maybe it was like the universe being like, get out. I don't know what it was, but
so when I was going to ask you a question here, that security and that safety, I know a lot of people like that, and a lot of people stay in things because of that security and safety. What would you say, like, to someone that, like, somebody you knew and came up to you, like, okay, how did you talk to yourself to, like, get out of that? Because security and safety are, like, the number one things that we as human beings love to have. You know, like, that is, like, our...
Well, it's a necessity.
It's like, I need security, I need safety, I need to be in a pact, I need, like, a house, I need to stay warm. Because it gives me security and safety. So how did you get past that to kind of move out and branch out to start your own thing? Because you never know what's going to happen when you start your own business, right?
Well, so I had started my own business making bracelets and doing bracelet making parties and doing markets. Like I was successful in my world, like it as a small side. It was like a side hustle, I guess, or whatever.
So were you still doing marketing at the time?
So I got into this position, I'm sure it was 2015, and I started making bracelets in like 2017. And I didn't leave my job till 2018. So there was like over a year, maybe even more, where I was doing both. I was doing my own thing on the weekends, and the evenings I would go do parties and teach yoga and whatever, bracelet making parties. So I kind of had that. It wasn't like I was leaving for nothing. I had a little bit of something that I could do something with. But really, it, like, this is kind of embarrassing, but I honestly feel like I analyzed the shit out of it. It was a really head navigating, like a thinking, I don't even know what words I'm trying to use right now, but very thinking situation, because
a mind game.
It was a mind game because I was in a marriage, so I had to consider the other person. I was in a mortgage. I was in everything adult that you thought you needed to be in. So I had to consider all these things before just up and quitting a secure salaried job, you know, with a pension and all these things. But ultimately the person I am is, once I make my mind up, like, there's no going back. And that's a good thing, and also not. But, you know, I crunched the numbers. I also put myself out there, like, a lot. I upped my ante when it came to, like, bracelet making parties and really, like, selling myself. But I also put myself out there with a warehouse. That's how I got that job. I just went up to Tammy and I was like, do you guys need anyone to work here? You know, like, I put myself out there because I knew I needed a little something. And I also put myself out there with yoga. Like, there were so many things that I just had to be really confident about. And I loved it, and I was passionate about it, so it wasn't really hard to be confident about that. Yeah,
you just trusted yourself 100% because you knew that this is where you wanted to be. Yeah,
and for me to rationalize, that's the word I'm looking for, rationalize leaving such a secure situation, I needed to be really trusting of my own abilities and skills. And I was, like, there were so many things I could have done and could have offered, and I was going down multiple, like, oh, I could do social media for people, I could do, you know, like, my creativity was on fire at that time, just any way I could possibly bring in money, but also do what I love, because I didn't just want to bring in money. I'd been doing that. You know?
Yeah, money's easy to make.
It's easy. It's like, easy. How are you doing it now?
Yeah, are you happy doing it too?
Exactly.
Do you feel fulfilled doing it?
Right. Because at that point, in no way at all in my life, really, you guys are going to get some purring on
Nova's pretty happy.
Audio here.
Yeah, Nova's pretty happy. She wants to cuddle with Dad.
She's happy. The blanket's out. The wine's out. But yeah, it was definitely confidence and just trust that, like, my creativity was going to be enough. It's funny now that, because I struggle with that a little bit now. There's been some things that have come up that have pushed me back, I feel like. At that time, I had nothing really to lose. And I had no support. Like, my mom thought I was nuts. She ultimately supported me, but my mom thought I was nuts. My husband at the time thought I was fucking lazy and insane for doing that. And, like, no one was like, yeah, you got this. Like, I believe in you. So I kind of had to take all that on I feel. And then it worked out. And it's been a fucking roller coaster ever since then. But, you know, I wouldn't change it for the world.
No, I don't think you should. It's been really, really, really beautiful to watch you transition through so many different things. Yeah. And, you know, like, I always said to you, like, I want to be your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, I remember
that. Your biggest hype man. That's what I think I used.
Yeah. Well, you use both of those words. Exactly.
Because, yeah, it's just, like, I'm sorry that you didn't have support in your first marriage, but I'm also not sorry because you left.
It landed me here.
I'm here now. Yeah. So, it's good for me. But, you did amazing things.
But I also feel like, sorry if I can interrupt, that you, like, when I wanted to start my yoga studio, you were nothing but supportive. So that was even more encouraging for me. Like, there's this element of, like, no one supports me. I gotta fucking do this on my own. There's, like, a push. But then when people support you, it's like, whoa, okay. I'm pushing and I'm going for it. And now someone else sees my potential and sees, you know, what I've seen. So, like, it's kind of double expansive, you know?
And then we all know that, like, to get to where we want to be, or what's the word I want to use? I want to use the word, well, if we all want to make FU money, you know?
FU money.
The best thing to do is to start your own thing. Like, and that way, you know, you don't have a salary cap. Yeah. Because if you do work a 9 to 5, or you do, like, you know what your salary is, you know what your pension is, you know what your cap is, basically, and there's only a certain amount that you can go up. Yeah. Right? Unless you're working a commission job, and then it's all on you, but that's kind of like working for yourself in a way.
Yeah, mostly too, is. Right? Yeah, exactly.
So I think that the world is changing into a world where people realize that, you know, they can have their cake and eat it as well, too, right? Because there's so many people there. COVID was kind of a shitty thing, but also kind of an amazing thing too. And, like, for the people that passed away, like, I'm sorry if you lost anyone during COVID and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're not denying that it was challenging, but it's just shifted perspectives globally and collectively on the importance of self-sufficiency and the importance of loving what you want or loving what you're doing.
Yep. And also realizing that, like, you can start knitting, you know, blankets, and you'll have a following out there that are like, I love knitted blankets, and still make a decent living for yourself. And you just kind of go, oh my goodness, like, I can do something that I love and make money for it and be happy with what I'm doing. Like, that's, like, the amazing thing. And I feel like people really realize that over the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's one really positive shift, I feel, because you hear about these, you know, these businesses not having enough staff, and it's like, well, where is everybody? Because realistically, you know, heart or mind, it doesn't matter, people have to make money somehow, some way. And I'm not saying it has to be a salary job or whatever, but, like, where have all these people gone? So my heart is leaning into the thought and the hope that, like, they are doing what they love. They're creating products. They're, you know, helping people online. They're trying to start a YouTube business or an online anything like that isn't corporate or waitressing or whatever they may have done previously.
And even if they want to continue doing that, they're still doing something that they enjoy doing. Because I think even if you like that security and you like that, you know, knowing that you're going to get a paycheck each and every single week or every 2 weeks, and knowing that you're having the same money coming in. But also, if you just take the time and give yourself time to create what you want to create and put out there, and it turns into a side hustle, there's nothing wrong with that either. And just, like, creating even more abundance for yourself, and even, like, abundance feeling of, like, joy in your heart.
Exactly.
Which kind of gives you, like, the will and the hope to keep going on in a job that maybe you don't like as much, but you do it because you do like the security and it's great for your family and all that stuff. And that makes you happy, but you can still do something on the side that just kind of gives you an extra little joy
and it sparks freedom. Your creativity and it keeps you in that flow state of, like, openness and receptivity. The one thing I was thinking about as you were talking about that is the book that we're reading. It's Not Your Money. And it's this concept of like being open to receiving. And when you work in a job that caps your salary or that sucks the life out of you, like how are you possibly open to anything other than that? You know, so starting to play with your creativity and starting to really to open up to what the universe wants to give you is like, I don't know.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
So anyway, since finance, I've been a yoga teacher, a yoga studio owner, bracelet maker, a tarot reader, and I'm doing all those things still.
Yeah, you're still killing it.
Still doing them in different capacities now.
Yeah.
And the reason we kind of wanted to talk about this too was because now we have a family, and when we talk about your work situation, it's going to make a lot, like it's a little bit more linear than mine. I didn't make this change for our family, but it seems to be exactly what our family needs. Like I get to be at home with our daughter in what I would say is the most important years of her life, and still work in the capacity that I can and be creative. And I feel like this podcast, even though it's not like we're not getting paid $1 million to sit here and talk, it's and like
it's an expression.
Exactly.
It's something that lights our heart up and
totally
fills our hearts with a whole bunch of
it sparks us with creativity that maybe we then can go in, you know, whatever. But yeah, it's been a blessing to be able to be, you know, like I have a contract with a warehouse to do their online stuff. I have yoga classes online, and now I have yoga classes in person. I'm finally starting to make bracelets again after a long time without making them. You know, and there's these things that are starting to happen again now that there's space after being consumed by motherhood
for a year.
Like, you know, 15 months, those 15 months now. So it's been a long time, but it really did work out the way, because I cannot imagine having to go to work every day from 8 to 4 and leave her at this point. I just couldn't. I know people do it, and there's no judgment, but I just don't know. You know, I'm just grateful for how everything shook out.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, so
I think so. So
we'll turn it over to you.
Well, I started working at a very young age. I
5.
I started at No Frills when I was 14 years old in Elmer.
Yeah.
And it was funny because my mom actually got me the job. And,
of course she did. I can totally see her interfering.
She went and got me the job. Funny story is, though, I think when I talked, they weren't going to hire me because I was like too busy and involved in sports and stuff like that, and I wouldn't be very reliable. But I ended up being very reliable and turned out to be a really good worker and stuff like that. Yeah. So fast forward through all that, and I went off to school, to college. Well, I went to college in Toronto first for a soccer scholarship. Yeah. Had a lot of fun.
Not for school.
Not for school. Played soccer for a year.
He didn't do school.
it was a lot of fun. And the funny thing is, like, if you ever get a scholarship and they're like, "Oh, your grade's got to be a certain amount" and stuff like that, no. Yeah. Just be really good. If you're
great at sports, there's one thing they care about.
Just be good at the sport that you are there for, and then do a little bit of schooling, and they'll help you out. So,
words of advice.
Sorry, colleges and universities for laying out that truth bomb.
Give you a PSA.
It was so funny. Like, so Western, we did like I was in high school, so at the time we did like
recruiting or something.
No, it was like an all-star game. Game. Yeah, so you got like different players from different teams. They all like joined one team together and stuff like that. And we played at Western University on their turf field there, and it was amazing. And at the end of the game, like I played a really good game, and at the end of the game, one of their coaches, I guess they were scouting out there too, came up to me and was like, "Oh, you ever thought about Western?" And I was like, "Oh, my marks are nowhere like near as good for Western." And they're like, "That doesn't matter." Like literally, like said to me, "That doesn't matter." Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, so to go to school, you don't need.
Oh, okay. Grades. Cool. And Western University is a really
great
school. Yeah. So sorry, Western. And sorry for those people that worked really, really hard to get in there. Yeah.
You worked really, really hard in another way.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Don't take that from yourself.
Yeah, I won't. But yeah. So when I started working for No Frills, I left school and I came back for about a year, worked there. And I moved out west, worked out there, then came back, and I was back at No Frills. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I started doing managing and stuff like that. And
basically, then, No Frills was like...
Yeah.
Was like, always had your heart.
Always had my heart, yeah, at a young age. And then I ended up working for a really good friend of mine named Craig. He got a store in Stratford. And him and his wife got a store there. And it was a beautiful store. And I love Craig and Jess. They're amazing couple. And it was so much fun to work for them. And then moved up a little bit more in their store. And for me, I thought I was only going to be there for maybe a couple of years, 3 or 4 years. And then I was going to go back out west. But
that was your plan.
That was my plan. But then the idea of owning my own store kind of got in my head. And it's definitely a corporate job.
It was a corporate job before even the franchisee possibility.
Yeah, exactly. And so when I became store associate, I think I was store associate for about a year and a half. And then the program application came up. And I applied for the program application.
Franchisee program.
Yeah. And I got in there. And so I was on the road, basically traveling to different stores, learning what I needed to learn to become a great franchisee and store owner and stuff like that.
And like helping stores out.
Yeah, helping stores out. And some stores that had issues. And if anything new was implemented, then I go out and learn it. And then I go teach it to other people. Yeah. And this is perfect because I'm honestly a shy person. And I'm very introverted. So this helped me kind of gain my confidence in a way, and like I don't ever regret doing this at all.
Yeah. That's a huge note, I think, in all of this.
It kind of helped me grow and feel more comfortable with like talking to strangers and like even being a teacher, because I went into a lot of stores and I'm teaching people that have been in the business like years longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it kind of be intimidating. Yeah, really intimidating. But then once they kind of catch on and they get it, they're like, oh, this is so much easier. Like, I wish I would have learned this years ago. And it's kind of like, okay, I did a great job. Like, it feels so great, sort of thing. And then, so I fast forward, like, Chris and I fall in love all over again. And I'm in Ontario, she's in Regina. So I'm thinking of getting transferred. And I don't know if the transfer is going to go well. So I'm thinking about quitting and then moving to Regina.
Potentially a new job.
Yeah. And, like, for me, like,
well, you never really wanted to stay in Toronto, though. They wanted you, as a company, they wanted you to buy a store there.
I think so.
You think so? That's the vibe you got, because you probably do really well
the Toronto market.
The Toronto market. Yeah. Or so they thought.
Yeah. But I didn't really want the big city.
No.
So.
No way.
I ended up getting a transfer. I moved I had an interview with the
Western Division.
The Western Division, and it was really, really well. And so I moved out to Regina. So it's back on the road. So it was good. Like, basically
we went from being long distance to moving in together to long distance.
Yeah, because I'd be on the road for 10 days and then home for like four or 2 and then back on the road again for 10 days.
It was insane.
But it was like nice for me because like
because you got a break from me.
No, I got to come home to you. And it was nice.
Yeah, because before you just go home.
I'd go home. I'd be on the road for 10 days, but I just go home to my apartment to by myself, basically, and my roommate Andrew at the time.
Yeah.
And so that being said and done, Nova.
She's got a moth.
Yeah. That being said and done, we basically found out that we were pregnant in September.
Yeah, September 2020, we found out we were pregnant with Lilith.
Mm-hmm. And by then I was contemplating leaving the company too, because my heart
so much was changing.
So much was changing. My heart was like in a different location. And
sorry, I had to pause it there while the cat and dog had a
moth episode.
Jesus.
Yeah. So anyways, we found out that we were pregnant with Lila, and then I was just like, well, I can't be on the road.
No. And you didn't want to be. Like, leading up to this, I feel like, while the world had completely shifted, like 6 months earlier, you were fully living in Saskatoon, and I was fully living in Regina. Mm-hmm. And we were trying to navigate these big world changes, and that affected my business at the time, your business at the time that you were in. Yeah. And, like, it just like the shit kept piling higher and higher, it seemed, on your end of, with work and stuff like that. And I just feel like anyways, I'll let you tell the story, but it seemed like you wanted that franchisee position to really set us up as a family to live a really fulfilled life. But then when our family happened sooner than we thought, it was like, hey, this is actually taking away from the family in a way.
Because before I left Loblaws, I had an opportunity to own a store in Saskatoon, the store that I was running for a while. I didn't end up getting the store, and it came down to my confidence, to be honest. My confidence as an owner, I just wasn't ready yet, which kind of sucked to hear, but the person that ended up getting the store, I understand why they got the store.
They walked in and they were guns blazing.
Guns blazing, just change this, change that, and I kind of just tiptoed around it and kind of was just like, oh, I'm not too sure, because I basically wanted the staff just to feel like they were comfortable.
They were supported.
There was nothing going to happen in really quickly. But I should have went the way that I felt like I should have went.
You should have got your guns blazing.
Should have trusted myself in that moment. But anyways, it didn't matter anyways because I ended up leaving the company. But like what I'm trying to say is that job there before bonuses and all that stuff is over $100,000 a year.
It's a great position. It's a great job. Mm-hmm. And you own a store. Like you have, it's not just $100K. You've got other perks and benefits and things that come along with a really nice salary.
Yep, exactly. And that just sets your family up really well. And like Krista would have been in the business, she would have been a bookkeeper, and then that's like
I can't believe I forgot about that. I ended up like trying to, I could have probably figured it out, but I tried to do some studying on bookkeeping and stuff like that, and we were gonna be like the Beyonce Jay-Z of No Frills. Yeah,
and most like franchisees like No Frills are husband and wives.
Yeah, because you want someone doing your books who you trust.
Yeah, it's a family business, true, right? So that's what we were thinking about doing, but that changed, and then so I thought I was gonna so I was like, okay, I gotta leave, but I gotta figure out what I want to do. I want to feel fulfilled in what I do.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking, I want to be a personal trainer because I get to help people reach the goals that they want to feel and feel happy and healthy and confident in themselves.
Yeah.
And then that didn't really work out very well, but I ended up working at a gym, fitness studio, Orange Theory, and that really felt really good. Like it helped me also out of my box because I went from out of my box to like inside my box, inside my head again.
Yeah.
And then I kind of was in a job that I had to be more confident and selling and stuff like that, and really just interacting with people every single day, members, non-members.
It was just totally a shift from the back end of grocery to the front end of like fitness sales.
Yep, and it was a lot of fun. But that I found that wasn't for me either.
No. Like you had to do so much computer stuff and admin stuff that just like the mind element. Okay, as an outsider looking in, the mind element was consuming the physical element. And the reason I feel like you were able to balance it out a little bit better at No Frills is because you would go slay stock for 4 hours and have to deal with a little bit of paperwork, admin stuff there was more balance in your day. Whereas sales are sales. It's paperwork, it's emails, it's customer service all the time. Yeah. You guys cleaned the gym. That was the extent of your physical activity.
Yeah, I loved it.
Absolutely.
And then, but I ended up managing there for a little while, and it was a lot of fun. Like I learned a lot of great, valuable life lessons and great like things about understanding people and understanding myself. And I would do that over again in a heartbeat. And the people I worked with were amazing. Like
that really
I would bring them everywhere with me. It was awesome. It was like a nice family there. Aww. And so I left that, and then.
But that was also really crazy because you worked 4 a.m. to 12.
Yeah.
So when I was pregnant and we were going to try to get organized for Lil's arrival, you were still working 4 to 12 or 4:30 to 12 or whatever it was, and then. We were like, how in the hell are you going to have a newborn and get to work at 5 o'clock in the morning or 4:45 or whatever it was? Yeah. Like it wasn't, that shift was never going to really work for new parents.
No, but it also helped me out a lot. And my shift was 9 to 6. Yeah, 9 to 6.
Yeah, it ended up that because you got that manager position. So you were able, it was like you were able to like shift your job a little bit so that it worked for our family. Yeah. You know?
And it all worked out. Like it all worked out. And then that's the thing that I learned. Everything always works out.
Yeah.
You know, it always works out. It always seems like it's going to be hard at the time, but then it always just...
Or it is hard at the time, but it just shakes out. It just, you know...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, anyways, what I really wanted to get into was just like
half an hour in. Yeah, what we really wanted to talk to you about.
What I really wanted to get into was just like finding your purpose and finding like something that you feel fulfilled with, and like when having children comes up and things like that, and like working around that, because Chris and I had like a goal of moving to BC. Yeah. And doing our own things out there and just like, you know, living the BC lifestyle, and then settling down and then having kids. Yeah. And that
we had a whole big plan. We've had plans that have fallen through many a times.
Yep. And for the best.
Yeah. For absolutely. The best. And way better things came.
And now that we have Lilith, and then we're gonna have another baby girl on the way, my biggest thing that I want to do is I just don't want to be afraid anymore. And show them that Dad was afraid to do and like to stay in the safeness and security of certain things. Yeah. And didn't go for what he really wanted. I want them to like know that they can go and do what they love and realize that they will be taken care of.
For sure. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing is like, it's the trust that comes when we as their role models step into our confidence, step into our flow and our trust. It's like, oh, well, they're doing it. The people we've always looked up to our whole lives, we can do it. You know, we have to lead by example, because we can't just sit at corporate jobs working 9 to 5 and tell our girls to go live their dream. They're never going to fucking buy it.
Yeah. And even if their dream is to be like a lawyer or a doctor or a dentist or any sort of like job that is a quote unquote, like those are high valued jobs, I would call them high value jobs, but they're sometimes draining on people.
They're high stress
too. But if that's what their dreams are to do with it, that no matter what they want to do, we support them 1000%.
Yeah,
but like as they love it, as long as they love it, to do what they love and know that they will be taken care of.
I think by the time our girls are ready to be fully in the workforce, the world has going to have shifted, and things are going to be different. I do, and I'm not saying it's going to be the dystopian future that people on Netflix want us to think it's going to be. I just feel like there's going to be a shift in a way that we make money, that we survive, that we thrive. It's just going to be different. I mean, everything's changing every day anyways.
Yeah, and they'll be part of that movement, right?
That's what I mean.
They're going to be part of that shift, and just like the world always shifts and times always shift. Like I know right now times are hard and stuff like that, but like if we look at the Great Depression and we look at World War II and all those things that have happened, there's always been a dip and then all of a sudden a huge boom. Yeah. And then a dip
it's
and
history.
Then a huge boom. So if COVID is our dip, like people like, you know, get ready and prepare yourselves, learn what you need to learn, love what you want to do, because there's going to be a huge boom. Yeah. And we want to get ahead of it so we can ride that wave up and up and up. And so if there's another dip, we're prepared.
Exactly.
You know, and then we're ready for the next freaking wave that goes up. So I think that after this is all done, we're probably about maybe 2 years out of this baloney. And then we we can start to ride the waves and reap the rewards of preparing ourselves and learning the things that we love to do and offering our services to people authentically and like, you know, live the life that we want to live.
I think a big thing why the world is going through such turmoil right now is that we are being torn in a few different directions, and I believe what the world needs are healers. And I'm not just talking like these really high spiritual, high holy people. These are everyday these are everyday people who have incredible abilities to help people and heal them and help them through their journeys and be there by their sides. And that's what we need as a collective, is like people leading with their heart, leading with love, and raising the frequency of the collective through that sort of stuff. Like, and I'm not talking, those are really big words, I guess, or jazzy words, but like, you know, it's not complicated when we really think about it. If you're doing what you love and you feel on purpose, you are living in high vibration, you're sharing that with those around you. You're helping people.
Yeah.
We need that.
No matter what it is that you do, really too, right?
Yes.
Like there's so many jobs out there and so many beautiful things that we do. And like really every single job that is created, it was there to give ease to somebody. And it was there to give convenience to somebody. So even like, you know, an office job, an administrator job, it was created to be of help.
Of service,
you know? And so when we started thinking about that, and another thing is like, right now I'm working for a sawmill and I love it. It's very physical work, but it also, since it's so physical, I have more creative, I don't know, inspiration.
There's like more space in your mind because you're not sending fucking emails all day long. And you're having to do mental activities like that.
So it's beautiful. And I look at it as like, it's investing in me because I feel in my heart that I know where I want to go and I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I know what my purpose is. And it's just being consistent and staying on focus and not being scared of the ups and downs of getting to where I want to be, because you can go really high and then as soon as you dip, you kind of go, okay, I'm done.
That's it. I
can't anymore. It's just too hard, right?
Yeah.
But as long as I can stay the course, and I know that I can stay the course because I really believe that this is my purpose.
Yeah.
That the job I have right now is investing in me.
I
look at it as an investment. I don't look at it as a job. I look at it as an investment, and it's so much more fun. The last I just started thinking about it that way in the last like couple of days, and the last 2 shifts have flown by. So I work 12-hour days, and so when I look at the watch, like, oh, 8 hours has gone by, and then my buddy always goes, yeah, it's a normal person's work day, and I was like, it's like we still have 4 more to go, and I was like, oh, that's okay, and
positive Patty,
yeah, like, that's okay, but those 12 hours go by so fast. And
when you shift, when you can shift your mindset about what's happening,
and I really have it pretty good. I work 4 days, I work 2 days, 2 nights, then I have 4 days off. So I have 4 days to spend with my family, have a good time.
That is I got to give your work that, because those 4 days off are amazing.
Yeah. And
I mean, you need it.
Yeah. I only have 2 nights, and I basically only have 2 nights when I don't really get to see my family.
Yeah.
2 days, like I sleep all the day, and I basically get up, eat really quickly, say I love you, okay, bye, and then go to work, and I'm home in the morning.
Nights are the hardest because it's like, for me personally, it's like mom duty all day, mom duty all night, but for you, it's trying to sleep with a toddler running around all day and then having to deal with complainers all night. So it's like both of us have our fair share of challenges with night shift, but then you're all of a sudden just done and off for 4 days, and it's like, oh, okay.
You look at it and you're like, oh my god, I only have 1 night left, and then
that was worth it.
Yeah, it's so good,
and I love it because I mostly just sleep for the night, so I don't have to work all night, and it goes by quick enough for us.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say one thing before I forgot, about when you were talking about like every job has like a purpose and is made to help serve. The one big thing I think people get really hung up with, I want to say in the spiritual community, is like having a job that's soulful and purposeful can't be corporate. It can't be for the man. It can't be for Starbucks or a fast food. Like, there's so much shame around having a job. And although that's not something I want to pursue, if that's your circumstance right now and that's what you are feeling like is on purpose for you, make it on purpose. Go to work like you just said, and it's an investment. Like, have a different mindset. It's investing in you. You're helping somebody out. You're spreading your love. If you're a barista, you are literally making coffee and food for people.
You're turning people that can't function into functioning people.
Infuse it with love. Share your love in the little ways that you can. Like, I feel like you go to work, and I jokingly call you Positive Patty, but it's like you infuse that place with positivity. It may not be your soul's purpose to work in lumber, but you can live you can live your purpose out through many different channels, through many different ways. So, if for the people who are stuck at a job, or who are just at a job, not even stuck, who enjoy their job, good. That's fine. There's no shame in having a job.
Don't ever feel like if if you're happy with what you're doing, then keep on doing it.
And if you are showing up every day or most days, because we all have bad days, that's fine, with love in your heart and like want to share that with the people you speak to on the phone, or the people you serve the coffee to, or the families that you help get into school, or whatever job you have. It's like, you know, do it with love, do it with purpose, because that's ultimately the goal.
Yeah. And I think if you pick one of those jobs and that was your purpose, you're already doing it. You're already living it. You're already having a fun time. Like Krista and I were watching the show on Netflix. It's called Buy My Home.
Oh,
Buy
I
My
love
House.
that
It's
show.
such a great show. If you have Netflix and you want to watch it's like a quick 6 episodes, 30 minutes, 34 minutes long.
We slayed it.
Yeah. It's a great feel good, happy show, and these people basically flip out. They invest in houses. Like some do short term rentals, they buy homes and then sell them at a higher price and stuff like that. And if you think about those jobs, like it seems like, oh, well, that could kind of be boring and stuff like that. But they look at then like they said, like they're not investing in the property, they're investing in people.
In the people, yeah.
And that was just like, like, you know, like these people are doing so much good for the people out there. Sorry, our little one just woke up and she's now out here with us, but she's falling asleep slowly but surely. She doesn't want to go back in her crib, but we're gonna start sleep training her like all over again. Yeah. So she's partying right now. She's got her hands up in the air, waving around.
She's
like she
a little Gemini, so she really needs to be involved in this chatty podcast.
So, anyways, what I was saying is just do the things that you love, and even when things come up or obstacles come your way, you can always pivot.
Yes.
And still get back to where you want to be, and don't be afraid to go for what you want.
I feel like the reason we really wanted to talk about this stuff on the podcast was like, well, to share, you know, to share our experiences, but also just to say like, you know, these things aren't as linear as we thought they were, or we maybe hoped they would be. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. There's no shame in swerving. You know, I remember hearing, people would change their career 3 times in a lifetime. Mm-hmm. And I would be like, what? That's insane. Like, I can't imagine changing that many times. And, like, I've literally done it already, and I'm just 30. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, like, be open to what's out there and be open to receiving that guidance and that knowledge, because, you know, the world needs more people who are living on purpose and living through love than people who are unhappy in a job, when really, when you zoom out, it doesn't fucking matter. You know, like, so, and especially for families, you know, that was hard for us to even think about. You not being there for the pregnancy, you not being there when she was born, and maybe her not recognizing you. Like, it was, that was a big decision, you know. So
you only get 5 weeks off if you're a dad, apparently.
Yeah.
So but yeah, you just gotta do the things that you love, and find what your passion is, and realize that there may become some pivots and maybe some changes, but you can still get to where you want to go.
I guess the big thing about all those pivots and the changes is that's where you find the passion. You know, it's in the things that you're not passionate about.
Yeah, it lets you know.
Right? It lets you know. It's
if
like,
you want to still go, or if you don't want to keep going.
Yeah, like I think about being in finance, and it's like, you know what? I probably really could have stayed in that and really done well. If I put my head down and I did the work, I could have. But there just wasn't in my heart. Right. You know? So. Exactly. Well, I guess we will wrap it up, because we've got a squirmy worm and we've talked for 48 minutes. Yeah. So
she's sleeping but awake at the same time. It's kind of weird.
She's going through some stuff. This is a big pivot in her life.
Yeah, big transition for sure.
Big transition. So
and we start sleep training soon, so
yeah, all
over again.
Yeah, for the second time.
Yeah, so we're gonna
part of that journey. Yeah. But again, like, let's tie this into the episode. I'm grateful you have 4 days off to do that together as a family. That is incredible and something to be grateful for.
Yeah, 1000%.
So thanks everyone for listening to us talk about our jobs and the importance of
following your heart, following your passion,
and trusting yourself,
doing what you love,
for yourself, and to be good role models for your fam, your kiddos,
and even for the people around you.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we hope you enjoyed. We're loving doing these, so I really hope everyone's loving listening. Yeah. Let's wrap it up.
All right. Well, everyone have a good night. Sleep tight, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
As Lil likes to say, night-night.
Night-night. Bye.